Cask 529. I'm Brian.
And I'm Shona.
Tonight I've got a little blind set up for Shona. Something that I usually don't get a chance to do. Usually the blinds are either set up by someone else for us or she sets me up. So
I much prefer that.
I know you do, but I actually like being on this side of it tonight. So what we're going to do, I've poured up 3 bourbons, and I kind of just want Shona to taste these, see if she can maybe pull out the differences in them, see if she can detect differences in proof, just basic general identification, see what you can come up with on these.
Okay. I will do this for you tonight as long as you're promising me none of these are Buffalo Trace.
I will I will promise that there is 0 Buffalo Trace in this lineup.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay?
Appreciate that.
I won't do that to you again. Although it was funny.
It was not funny.
And some of the viewers thought it was funny.
Okay.
All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and start with number 1.
All right.
Okay?
Nice on the nose. Some sweetness. Picking up the caramel, some vanillas, the normal.
Mm-hmm.
Honey. There's a little bit of honey.
Nothing in your face as far as the heat goes there.
Good. This one I'm picking up honey, a lot of sweetness, a little bit of spice on the end.
Not very much though, is there?
Not a whole lot of burn. I'm going to guess mid 90s to 100 proof. Nothing.
It's probably fair.
Very flavorful. Definitely picking up.
It's got a really
Some
nice,
berry.
nice balance of spices in it. The heat's not bad. The sweet is very, very strong.
Quite delightful. Much better than the last blind. You're doing good so far.
Good start? Good.
I don't know, I might just finish one and let the other ones go because I'm still kind of nervous that you did like a dirty trick on me here somewhere.
No dirty tricks.
Colors, I am going to say coloring on these are all, I know, sorry, I remembered that you asked me to look at that. Colors are all pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
I would say pretty much, maybe this one's a little bit darker, number 3 is a little bit darker.
Second one looks like it might be a little lighter.
Well, we drank some out of it. I should have looked at that before.
That could be.
So I apologize. And I don't know, I think they're all pretty close in color.
2 and 3 are close, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to try 2.
This one I'm picking up a little bit of heat on the nose.
It's not much different for me than 1.
I'm not picking up the sweetness on this one.
I don't think it's near as sweet as 1.
No, but it does hit your palate. Sweet. Finishes with some spice. This one has more darker note to it, and I'm trying to think of...
Like richer, maybe?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean by darker?
Maybe a little bit of... I gotta taste it again. I want to say a little bit of cocoa, maybe, but chocolate, but...
I get a little more heat
Yeah.
up front on that one. And then it kind of fades off towards the end. Where on one, the heat kind of came at the end. It was never very strong, the heat wasn't.
I definitely think I'm picking up some chocolate notes on this one. With,
Dark chocolate.
yeah, with some caramel and honey as it hits my tongue.
I get the dark chocolate on the back of my palate.
Still a really good pour, and I would say it's proof similar to number one in that 95 to 100 range. I was afraid when I smelled that one that it would be a lot proofier or a lot hotter, but I'm not getting that.
No, it is hotter, I think, than one, but it's not bad. It's not I don't think it's like drinking some of the 130s we've had.
Oh,
You know, it's not like that.
no, I would say they're about the same proof. Yeah, they're both good. I would sit there and drink either of those if you handed them to me, though. Different, but good. Number 3.
Could this be the one?
The one what? You promised me no buffalo
The
trace.
BT?
Just a little bit of sweetness. I'm not getting the heat that I got on number 2 on the nose. Smells really nice.
Now that it's on your palate, how's the heat?
It's fine. I'm getting some baking spices.
In my opinion, that the heat on that one is far more actually than it is on either of those.
I didn't pick it up. This one doesn't seem to be as flavorful as number 1 and 2. Kind of more of a washed out caramel, vanilla notes. It's kind of like diluted a little bit. It's still a good pour. That taste it opened up a little bit more. Not so diluted. Getting sweetness.
I've got a lot of caramel in that one.
Yeah, I'm actually getting caramel in all of them. I think definitely the chocolate note on this one. More of a berry type, I think, note on 1. I don't know. Number 3 is good, but I think you're right. It's just more caramel and vanilla.
It's almost, it's not overbearing, but it's really a strong caramel flavor.
Yeah,
in
and
that
some
one.
baking spice on the end. A good pour. Again, a good pour. I'm not disappointed. You did good. I'm not disappointed on any of these. I'd say, honestly, you probably picked a proof point between the 95 and 100. Maybe some of them stretch to 103, but it's in that range.
Would you want to put those in some kind of an order?
Yep, I can put them in order. Give me 1 second. Let me taste them one more time. Number 2, so sweet. It's really, really good. You'll be happy to know I'm not picking up any leather or tobacco on any of them.
I am happy to hear that. I'm even happier to see that you don't have any leather for me to chew on.
Number 2, I think I might be picking up a cherry note on it now. I still get that dark flavor, which I still think I'm recognizing it as chocolate. But that time it had some cherry on it.
I don't get the cherry, but the dark chocolate, I for sure get that.
Do you get that? Okay.
Yeah, I the first time when you brought it up, it kind of was like, it almost kind of put me in mind of like cocoa powder. But it almost tastes now like if you were to melt a Dove's hot chocolate or dark chocolate and mixed in with that. That's really the flavor I'm getting.
All right, so 2, why? Because I love chocolate and I picked up a cherry note. 1 is sweetness, goodness. 3 was good, but didn't have any true flavors that popped besides, the caramel, vanilla, this baking spice, but these ones had that too. Very similar. All great. I truly would drink any of these, but I would say number 2 is definitely my favorite.
It's not very often that we are identical on these, but the sweet note, it's just so balanced, number 2. The sweet, the spice, the heat, everything was just in right quantities, it seemed, on 2. 1, had we not had 2, 1 would by far be my leader.
Oh yeah.
And 3, it's not that 3 is bad. It's just different than 1 and 2.
It is.
And I don't get the cherry that you got in number 2.
Honestly, number 1 would have stayed number 1 for me if I didn't pick up that cherry note on number 2. So are you going to tell me what these are?
I suppose you'd probably like to know.
I would.
So do you want to know what your number 1 is first? Or do you want to, okay. So your number 1 is single barrel, 4 roses, 100 proof out of barrel 66-2M.
So my cherry note, that makes sense because I get a cherry note in the 4 roses single barrel. Oh!
So your number 2, which was actually number 1, is 4 roses single barrel, barrel 11-3U.
I wondered when we were going to do this show.
And your number 3, which is actually number 3, is, guess what? A 4 roses single barrel, barrel 67-4P.
Wow.
So
there you have it.
just like you did with me with the Blantons a few
Yes.
weeks back. And I kept telling you, you didn't really bring it up, but I kept telling you on the Blantons, they're just so similar. And I think I asked you 3 or 4 times, did they come out of the same bottle? But this, it's the same deal as that was.
They're similar. They
have like a base. There's there's almost
caramel,
like a
vanilla, sweetness base.
Like a base flavor, and then there's additives. I know that's not how it works, but it's to try to break it down. It's like you've got the same base across the board, and then they've added different flavors to it.
Yep. So we had to look at 4 different liquor stores to find these 3 different barrels.
Right.
Because even though Bryan said, well, you'll probably have an easy time finding 3 different barrels. Well, no, because when I went to the shelf, they're all the same barrel.
Yeah, we couldn't believe it.
So, unfortunately, I could not find the barrel that I truly, really love.
Which our
It's our original
bottle.
one back here.
Yep.
So I'm a little bit sad that there's only 1. bottle that had the
There's
cherry note.
not very much left in that bottle.
Right, so you should save that for me.
We'll see.
But I am glad that I picked up a cherry note in at least one.
Yeah.
Because these are all neck pours, and so hopefully that'll open up more, just like that one did. And I'll get that cherry note.
And
I'm
you know,
hopeful these ones might get it. But this
They
one
may.
had that chocolate note, which that
Yeah.
one doesn't. So this one might end up being my favorite barrel.
These were all good, but at this point, and like you mentioned, Shauna did know we had these, but
I
she
did.
didn't know when we were going to do this. These were all neck pours. None of these three, really, if this was in the competition, this would have been my number one for sure.
Maybe. You don't know that.
Well, that's true, I guess.
But there's not even enough in the bottle for the
Yeah,
competition.
we can't do that.
Yeah, we'll have to finish
I would
that
have
one.
to tell you what I was getting out of it, and you'd have to take my word for it.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
one of our viewers actually asked that we did this, and so we almost immediately got busy looking for different barrels. Shauna did a lot of the legwork on this one, and like she said, she struggled, which surprised me.
Yeah, because he was like, "You're not going to have any trouble."
Yeah, I figured
I did
you-
have trouble.
You know, this is pretty plentiful in our area, and I figured she could just go into 3 different stores and find 3 different barrels.
Well, you were actually thinking I could get 3 different ones at one store.
Yeah, I thought that might happen, but that
It
wasn't.
did not happen.
No. So, I guess it's another,
Yep.
just
It's-
because the label looks the same doesn't mean it's the same thing.
Well, when it's a single barrel, yeah, most definitely. There's definitely different qualities to each barrel. Very enjoyable pours, all of them. So,
They are. We're going to enjoy these tonight.
yes, quite thankful that he didn't shock me with the Buffalo Trace ones again, because I was a little bit nervous when he told me that he was going to put together the show. However, I do have to say, I do have a fun show coming up for Bryan. I don't know if many people watching actually know that my husband is a veteran. He's a Navy veteran. So thank you for your service. And so this coming Saturday, November 11th, is Veterans Day. And so we are going to be doing a special Veterans Day show.
We've got three more veterans joining us.
Yes. And we'll just wait for the show. It's going to be, very veteran themed show. So I'm anxious to do that. I'm super excited to have everyone here.
Should
the
be a good
guys
time.
to
Yep.
get around the table and talk and
Probably be
taste
some
the
stories
bourbons.
get told.
yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. Less than a week away.
Wish we could have had our basement bar done by then, but it's just, we got a late start. It just can't happen, but maybe we'll get to a point where we could at least be down there. We'll see how it goes this week. It may happen. But regardless, it'll be a good show. And speaking of the basement bar, hopefully by next weekend, regardless, we'll be able to give you guys an update on it.
Yes.
We're expecting drywall to be 100% complete this week, knock on wood, if all goes well. And once that's done, we can really get busy.
We can. Yes.
We hung the bar ceiling yesterday, actually. Shauna and I did.
Yep.
So that was exciting for us to see that happen. Anyway, this was our Four Roses single barrel comparison. 3 different barrels.
3 different tastes.
3 different tastes, really. So, and Shauna rocked it. No Buffalo Trace, so she was happy. Until next time, guys, thank you for joining us. Take care.
Thanks, everyone.